God highlighted the entire process of the individual lives. It makes the miracles in the story that much better. And we sang it today, you're faithful from beginning to the end. He is patient and he is faithful. Jeremiah 29:11 says, for I know the thoughts. By the way, this verse, it's amazing. We were writing a song the other day, and we were writing a song out of this, and the guy who brought this chorus, friend of ours, he said, this is the number one read verse on the YouVersion Bible app, is the Jeremiah 29:11. And people need hope. People need to know what God thinks about them. They do. For I know the thoughts that I think towards you, says the Lord, thoughts of peace and not of evil, to give you a future and a hope. God's heart for us is a future and a hope. His heart for us is prosperity. His heart for us is peace. But we have a part to play in this. We have a huge part to play in this. We can't be scared of the vulnerability. We can't be scared of those moments in life where things aren't good. Things feel like, have you ever, so Jen just had a crown put on, but do you ever go to the dentist, and some of you, when I say that word, you start to cringe. I personally don't have a problem with the dentist, but some of you do. Actually, I do have a problem with the dentist. I don't have a problem because they numb my mouth and I can't feel anything, but there's been times where they've numbed my mouth and it didn't quite numb, and then they hit a nerve. And then all of a sudden, it's like your whole world stops. And there's something about when you hit a nerve, that level of pain that happens. We hate pain. We hate that. But we have to embrace the fact that sometimes God is highlighting things in our lives. Sometimes we're going through stuff for a reason. And I'm not talking about demonic injustice. I've already said that, sickness, disease. I'm not talking about that, but sometimes we need to be alone. We need to feel what it's like to feel the grind. My dad experienced this several years back when my grandpa died. We've said this before, but my dad preached a message the week before he died, and he preached a message the week after he died. And it was very vulnerable. It was like my dad was feeling that nerve constant, and he exposed it in front of everyone. And I think more leaders need to do that in government, in church, and everything, exposing that vulnerable place. Because what it does is it just highlights the fact that we're going to get through this. Telling the whole story is important. And he said this the week after my grandpa dies. He gets up and he says this. In heaven, there won't be any pain, confusion, or loss. So I embrace, and we'll say embrace, I embrace my moment of pain now and give him praise in the midst of it. And this is the most important part, because that's an offering I'll never have a chance to give him in heaven. When we get to heaven, there's not going to be any pain, there's not going to be loss, there's going to be memory of that, but there won't be that as a reality when we're in heaven. So how much more now should we consider an opportunity to give him stuff that we'll never be able to give him throughout eternity? He's actually handing us freebies every time we go through something. He's like, here you go. Here's your opportunity to turn it into worship, turn it into praise. Heaven and hearts respond to that real, raw honesty of heart expressed in faith to God. The greatest expression of faith is when we choose to worship in the midst of it all.